My name is Jack Dearborn. I'm chairman of the Ware Zoning Board of Adjustments. This is the January 5th, 2021 meeting. Tonight, we have three cases, a continuation of case number 1320 from last year. We also, and that's a variance. Case number 012021, application for variance. That is for a wetlands buffer issue. And we also have the last one is case 022021, application for variance, Dylan Bovier and Maddie Albee. Okay, with that, the way I run the meeting is we will take each case one at a time. And what I will do is I will take the first case on the agenda. And then we've already actually done this first step. So let me just say it. Last time what we did is I did the overview of the case, and then I asked people if they wish to make a motion to accept the case. The purpose of accepting the case is to make sure the minimum of what is required for the case is present. Once I get a second and we had no discussion or we finished the discussion, then I will ask for a vote. And tonight I want to ask each individual member to vote individually so we can capture it. I'll call them off by name. And then after we've done that, I will then ask the applicant to come forwards and speak on the behalf of their application. The way we do this is the applicant gets a chance. The board can ask questions of the applicant. Once the applicant has been done presenting its case, in this case, for variance, it's 5 points of hardship. We'll ask the applicant to read each line, each question, and the written answer. So it's in the record. Not only for us, we have a copy, but other people in the room who maybe abutters or public at large do not have copies necessarily, or people at home. So we want to be able to make sure the question's read and the answers given. After we've done that, and there's no more questions from the board, I will open it up for and I'll ask the applicant to sit down. In this case, I guess you can do anything you want, but we will then move on to any approving abutters. And I will ask for each person who wishes to speak. We'll try to manage it so somebody goes first, second, whatever. After we're done with the approving abutters, then I will ask if there's any disapproving abutters that wish to speak. Once we've gone through all those people, I'll ask for other boards, town boards, or public at large. When that's done, I will give the applicant another opportunity to speak, to rebut anything that may have been said from anybody before him, after him. And then I will go once more through approving abutters, disapproving abutters, public at large, other boards. After that's done, we will shut down the case, public hearing. So we're done at that point, hearing testimony from the public. If we choose to, from a board, we can ask a question of somebody for some clarity. Then I will ask for a motion to approve. We always make motions in the positive. The reason that is so we don't have to worry about if a yes means no or no means yes. So it just makes it a lot clearer. So I'll ask for a motion in the positive to accept the application, to vote yes, to accept the application. Once I get a motion, I'll ask for a second. Any discussion, any conditions wish to place? And then I will move and ask for each variance has to be, there's 5 questions. Each one has to be done individually. I'll ask for prong 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 sequentially. And in order to pass each question, it doesn't have to be the same people. You need to have 5. Yes, out of 5 people sitting on the board, you need to have 3 yeses. If you do not achieve 3 yeses for any one of the 5, it fails. At that point, you are welcome to apply for rehearing. We will consider it based on new information, not just because you didn't like the answer. After that, should you don't like it, then you can move to Superior Court and challenge the board. So with that kind of said, how we run the business here. We have a continued case. At this point, it's case number 13-20 is Gil and Shelley Duquette at 271 Quaker Street. We've already opened the meeting. We second and we voted in the affirmative to open up the meeting. So now we're moving on to the actual case. Shelley, would you like to say something? We have Shelley here? We did have Shelley here. I don't see him doing anything.
I think they're frozen. They might have,
I think we lost him.
yeah.
Let me see if I got him, call the phone number. They just dropped off, didn't they?
Yeah, it looked like the screen froze first, so
Yes.
maybe they'll try to get back on.
Let me just try it. Well, this is starting out well, isn't it? Let's see here. 6 seconds. Okay, we saw you were frozen and you dropped off and I asked you to speak, so. Okay. We'll wait, thanks. They're trying to get back on. There we go. Shelley, can you hear us?
Yes, yeah, I think we're back.
Gary, you got a question?
Me?
No,
Yeah,
excuse me.
Jack, do
Yeah.
you want to announce who's on this board for this case?
Yeah, good point. For this evening, because we already opened the case up, it'll be Gary Shelto as continued, Mike, Bobby Joe, Mark, and myself for this evening for this case. It's continued the same board we had back in December. Okay. Where is Shelley? There you go. Shelley and Gil. Basically asked you if you wish to speak on your application.
Yes, we would like to speak on our application, and I'm not sure if this is the right time, but we were hoping to continue or postpone our application for the variance because we heard about the pending law that might go into place or change in the zoning ordinance for 3.5.
Yeah, Kelly, are you on? You see Kelly anyways?
I did, but I don't know.
No. Naomi, do you see Kelly?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
I see Kelly.
She's muted.
She's not any, well,
There she is.
Yeah.
Kelly. Kelly Dearborn Luce. Let me call her.
Hello,
Oh, you need to speak up.
you can't hear me?
Not very well.
All right, let me try my volume, but I was okay before. How about now?
You need to speak a little louder, I think.
That looks like she's muted.
Now, I keep trying both ways.
That's better.
Okay,
You're going to speak on 3.5 article?
sure. At the last meeting in December, the planning board is proposing,
Can everybody hear her? Okay.
Yep.
Barely.
You need to speak up louder, Kelly.
How about now?
Yeah, the more the better. You're very muted. I don't know why.
The planning board is proposing to change the article 3.5 by adding the word accessory dwelling so that a garage or a shed can be constructed on a non-conforming lot with reduced setbacks. Apparently it was the intent all along, but I just think it needs to be written that way. So the planning board is proposing that change for this warrant article coming up in March. And proposing changes now may or may not affect any upcoming applications or ZBA cases.
You done, Kelly?
Yeah,
It's my understanding that once the planning board had a hearing on proposed changes, and it had a public hearing, which they did December 10th, I understand. And it's since been approved, and the language has been sent to the town attorney, and it's being included in the warrant article.
that is
So in
correct.
order for that to be cleared, my understanding is if it's voted yes in March at the, when they vote on the warrant, it'll be an article. It becomes the position of the town that's law at that point.
That is
So
correct.
in order for you to be continued, it should be continued to the April meeting. Because before that, I think actually the night of the meeting in March is the night we're going to be, or the day we're going to be voting, so we won't hear the outcome. So we'll post, so can I have a motion to postpone case 13-20?
Jack, I'll make a motion to postpone this case until April.
Yeah, let me go figure out what's the first Tuesday in April?
April 6th, I think.
It is the 6th. Okay. Second,
I'll second. it.
thank you. And that's, any discussion from the board? Being none, all those in favor? Gary?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Bobby Joe
Aye.
and Mark.
Aye.
And I'm aye, so that's 5-0. So we will take this case up we'll take the case up in April. The condition will be if the article fails on the vote, we will continue the case as if there wasn't a break. If it does pass, then it's basically, I'll ask the Gilmets to retract their case because it'll be moot at that point. Okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to move on to, this is case 01-2021, application for the variance for R. John and Rodalyn Knox for property on Sugar Hill South, tax map 406, lot 31.1 of the Rural Agricultural and Commercial District. The variance is to construct a driveway through a 25-foot wetland buffer. I think everybody has got a copy of the map. I sent out an excerpt for the top left corner, which is what Art put together for indicating where his impact to the wetland is going to be. And I think it's 3,060 feet. With that said, do I have a motion to accept the application?
Move to accept case 012021.
Thank you. All right, second,
I'll second.
any discussion? I just want to point out that I did go there and look at it before most of the snowstorms. It has a little bit of snow on the ground, but they currently have installed, per the town of Ware's driveway permit requirement, a culvert right on the road. And a little bit further back, maybe 30, 40 feet, 50 feet back or so, someplace where indicated on the map, they're going to put another culvert for any seasonal runoff. So Motion been made and seconded. In this case, I'm going to ask that I seat Mike, Bobby, Mark, Malcolm, and myself. Gary, you can take the rest of the night off. Okay. Thank you. Okay, all those,
Can I ask a question before you go on?
who's this?
This is Melanie Gordon. I'm in a butter.
Too early. Please mute.
Okay.
We'll get to you. Okay. All those in favor? Mike,
Aye.
Bobby Joe,
Aye.
Malcolm, and Mark?
Aye.
Thank you. And I'll do aye. So it's 5-0. Okay. At this point, Art, we'll give you the floor. You can make a presentation.
Okay, I think John Knox was going to present. He's the applicant. I don't have authorization, but I can get his authorization over the phone. Would you like that?
Yeah, we do.
I had a feeling you would.
Is there a reason Mr. Knox can't dial in? I
Yeah,
assume
he had a something with a family issue
I got it.
you have to deal with.
Hello?
Hi, John. So you're going to be, your voice is going to be on the Zoom meeting.
It is.
So will you authorize me to represent you in this zoning board meeting?
Yes, I would like you to do that for us.
Is that satisfactory?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, we're good.
Okay,
Thanks.
then carry on.
Okay. So what's transpired in this case is that the Knoxes wanted to sell some of the property here, and before they contacted me to do any surveying, they had got a driveway permit and didn't install a driveway, but they had a machine go through the wetland to the proposed house site, which you can see. I don't know if you can see the plan. Are you going to show the plan on the Zoom meeting, or is that important to you, or I don't know?
I supplied the 5 members.
Okay, so they all have one, yeah.
I did you, Kelly, did they actually get a copy of the map physically, or you just sent one email?
I did both. I got a copy of the small one by mail, and then I
Yeah.
emailed
Okay.
Okay.
So anyway,
I mailed an excerpt, just an A-size page of the top left where the actual section you show is the impact of the wetland, the 3,060 feet.
so that's all they see. They didn't see the whole lot.
They got the whole lot.
Oh, okay, they got the whole lot.
They got the whole lot on the A size, but you can't read what's up on the top left.
Okay, great. I see.
Okay.
So anyway, why I was going there is to just say that the wetland bisects the property. So it's, covers the whole frontage of the property. Other than there's a little dry area, and then you cross a small strip of wetland. And they roughed in a driveway to this house site. They cleared the house site. And when I started doing my surveying, I said, don't do any more work because there's a wetland there and you need a wetlands crossing and the buffer zoning board variance. So I've contacted the wetlands board, and they want to see that driveway in the exact same spot because they don't want any more disturbance. It's been disturbed. And so that's what we're going to be applying for that permit.
Okay.
So therefore, we need the wetlands crossing is okay with the zoning, but the buffer disturbance is obviously an issue. So
Why don't you go through the 5 points of hardship?
this is the only way to get to the dry land on this lot, is to cross wetland. So the 5 points, I think,
Read the question, please, just the bolded part.
Okay, the variance will not be contracted for the public interest. This disturbance of the 25-foot wetland buffer is for a private driveway. The disturbance will take place away from the road, and the public will not be using the private driveway. Number 2,
Two.
please describe how the spirit of the ordinance is observed. The ordinance allows wetland crossings for driveways. This is the only way to get to the buildable area of the lot. So the spirit of the ordinance would and should allow observance of the 25-foot wetland buffer for this residential driveway. The driveway is a normal view to the public passing by the lot and not injure public rights. Number 3, please describe how substantial justice will be done. The owner will be able to gain access to the buildable dry area of the land for residential use. Number 4, please describe how the values of surrounding properties are not diminished. This portion of the lot is the lot zoned for residential use, as are the surrounding properties. The proposal is to construct a driveway through the wetland and 25-foot buffer for a residential home. Similar uses in the same neighborhood will not diminish values. Number 5, literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship. The wetland and wetland buffer on this lot bisect the property. In order to get access to the dry buildable land on the lot, that is a special condition that must be crossed. That's A. A1. Owing to the special conditions identified above, please indicate how no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance and the specific application that the provision to the property. The general purpose of this ordinance provision is to protect all wetland areas, regardless of where they are in town. Application of that provision to this lot would deny residential use of that lot. The provision is there to protect all wetlands, but in this case, a variance will allow use and not deny use. Number 2, owing to the special conditions identified above, please indicate how the proposed use is a reasonable one. The owner will be able to gain access to the buildable dry area of the land for residential use. And B, please describe the special condition of the property that distinguishes from the other properties. It's the same. The wetland and wetland buffer on this lot bisect the property from side to side in order to get access to the dry buildable land on the lot. That is the special condition that must be crossed. And owing to the special conditions identified above, please indicate how the property cannot be reasonably used in strict conformance of the ordinance, and the variance is therefore necessary to enable a reasonable use of it. Application of the ordinance provisions to the lot would not allow access to the usable area of the lot. The lot is zoned for residential use. In order to reasonably use the lot, the variance is needed to construct a driveway to a home on the buildable dry area of the lot. I guess you get the gist of why we need to cross it.
Thanks, Art. Any questions from the board before I ask for approving of butters? I see none. Okay, I don't know how we're gonna do this easily, but does anybody wish to speak as an approving of butter? Oh, that's easy.
Well,
Anybody?
yes, this is Melanie and Rob Gordon.
Oh, yeah, your Jason property, yeah.
Yep, we just have some questions. We've talked to John and Rodland, but have not seen the plan. Assuming this is just a driveway for this property, it's not a driveway for their lot behind this. It's just going to this one house. Is that
That's
correct?
correct. That's correct. The other
And-
land is going to be added to their property, to their house line.
Okay, so this is separate from their commercial property that's behind it.
Yes.
Okay, and this goes back a little ways, and I couldn't find it in the ordinances online. There was at one point, I was on the Agricultural Commission, and there was a conservation overlay for the rural agricultural that stated you had to have twice as much dry land in the rural agricultural conservation overlay. Naomi, I know you remember this. Has that been overturned? Because I couldn't find that in the ordinances, that if you had wetland, you needed twice as much area in the rural conservation overlay.
Well, let me ask Art a question.
Well, I can answer, I can answer.
No,
that.
let me ask a question. Are
Yeah.
you going to the planning board for approval?
Yes,
It'll be taken up at that point?
yes.
Okay. I
Okay,
think
so-
if it applies, it'll be at the planning board.
I can answer her question, though, can I?
Go ahead.
I believe that the doubling the lot size kind of went away. It used to be that way when the lots were 2 acres in the rural ag zone. And not when they went to 5 acres, that doubling the lot size was eliminated.
Okay, so that's a planning board issue and not zoning, so that isn't for this board. Okay,
Were you, Melanie, were you an approving abutter or disapproving abutter?
just questions as in a butter.
How about if I put you down as approving abutter?
Sure, well, we don't
Okay.
have any problem with it, we just haven't seen the plans.
I gotta fit you in some box. I figured I'd put you in that one. Any disapproving, any other approving abutters wish to speak? Disapproving abutters wish to speak on this case? Being none, other boards wish to speak? Public at large wish to speak? Being none, Art, you're welcome to rebut anything or any additional comment you want to make.
No, I think I'm good. I think you understand what we're looking for.
Okay, thank you very much. Again, approving abutters? Being none, disapproving abutters? Being none, public at large, other boards? The board, do you have any question of Art? Okay, with that, I'm going to close the public part of the hearing and we'll go on to deliberate on the decision on the article. So 5 points. Okay. I think the plan speaks for itself. He's looking to impact 3,060 square feet, which is basically the access going through the property. Could I have a motion to accept article, prong 1?
Move to accept prong 1.
Thank
I'll
you.
second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, Mike,
Aye.
Bobby Joe,
Aye.
who said aye? Was that Malcolm? And Mark.
Yeah.
Mark,
Aye.
you, very good. And I'm an aye, so it's 5-0. 2, please. Prong 2.
Move to accept prong 2.
Thank you.
I second.
Thank you, Bobby Joe. Discussion? Okay, thank you. Got 2. Any discussion? Being none, those in favor? Mike,
Aye.
Bobby Joe,
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Malcolm? Very good. I vote aye, so that's 5-0. Number 3, please.
Move to accept 3.
Thank you. Second?
I second.
Thank you, Bobby. Discussion? Being none? Oh, you all set, Mike? Malcolm, you okay? I saw you flash up, sorry. So we got a motion, we got a second. Mike, all in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Bobby Joe,
Aye.
Mark, Malcolm?
Aye.
Malcolm?
It's an aye for me.
Thank you. And
Aye.
I vote aye, so it's 5-0. Number 4,
Move to accept point 4.
thank
I'll
you.
second.
Second? Thank you, Mark. Discussion? Being none, all those in favor? Mike,
Aye.
Bobby Joe,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Malcolm? Thank you. I'm aye as well, so that's 5-0. Number 5 in its entirety.
Move to
Aye.
accept point 5 in its entirety.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mark. Any discussion? Being none, those in favor? Mike?
Aye.
Bobby Joe?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Malcolm?
Aye.
Thank you. I do aye, and so it's 5-0. So tell John he's got his variance.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good job on the Zoom. Good
We're
job.
trying.
See you, thank you.
I don't want to get too good at this.
That's true.
Okay, thank you. We now are going into our last case. And it's a variance. It is case number 02-2021. It's Dylan and Madison Albee. And it is for construction of a building on a home on a class 6 road, Jewett Road. And it's prohibited not only by the state, but also by the town. It's Article 17.1.1. So I have descriptions. I got the 5 points of hardship filled out. The penalty, the more you write, the more you got to read. And so at this point, I will ask if a motion to accept the app. Oh, first of all, Gary's gone, so the people sitting in this one is Mike, Bobby Joe, Mark, and Malcolm, and myself. So
Is
Gary is gone.
Jack,
Yes. Speak.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, my audio and video is breaking up really badly. If Gary's not around, I can sit, but I prefer to sit this out because Dylan is a neighbor of mine. I feel as though
Well-
it might be a conflict for me.
The way I would phrase it for you is, do you have a financial interest? You have a financial interest in the case? Do you end up making or losing any money because of him getting this application?
I can go forward with this. I just kind of wanted to,
Okay.
Get
It's
the
fine. I
opportunity
just
to-
wanted to let you know that unless you feel you have a financial interest, we'd ask you to see. We don't have to sit down, but we'd ask you to sit down. But if you want to go forwards, I'd appreciate 5 members. Is that okay, Malcolm?
I'm fine with that.
Okay,
Could you
okay.
give me about 60 seconds? I'm having trouble with my computer here.
I
I'm gonna
can
I'm gonna
hear
just-
you. It seems like a problem when you turn it on and off.
Can you change your video to no video? Maybe that will help.
I don't know.
Probably should have brought it up at the beginning as well, but there's a phone dial-up number in the invite. Also, you can just dial in audio for phone if it becomes an issue.
Malcolm, can you hear us relatively well? I'm getting a no on that. Malcolm, I'm going to call you on your phone.
All right, hang on.
Oh, we're better?
No, it's still breaking up. Video and audio is all just broken right up.
I tell you what, why don't you call in on the,
Should we ask Gary to come back?
Jack,
Yeah.
you there?
there
Okay,
is a number you can
Yeah.
call in. Why don't you call in a number and we can just hear your audio? Is that okay? Yeah, there should be on the email.
okay, in the email right now, and let's see, it's
Why don't you just dial in?
to which phone number? The 7535?
Where did Naomi go? There you are. What number you want to call into? The 75 number? Naomi?
You have to give me a second. I gotta open another thing so I can get the number. Mike just put it on there, 1-646-558-8656. Thank you, Mike.
You get
Yeah.
that? Malcolm?
I saw the number flash up, but then it's gone again.
Can you put the number up again, Mike?
It's in the chat.
Put
so
put that up again, Mike?
you have to hit the chat button on the Zoom interface and it'll pop up. This is, you'll need the meeting ID and the passcode as well.
I'm going to sign off now. Malcolm, you on?
We have two Malcolms now. I'm not sure.
Well, Malcolm Old is the old video. I'm not sure which one's which. Have you unmuted, Naomi, have you unmuted,
I can only mute. I can't unmute him.
has he dialed in on his phone?
I admitted him, but it looks like he tried to get back in on the computer.
Can you do both?
I'm not a techno.
You can, and it looks like
Okay.
he's in there twice from the computer.
Right.
So how does he unmute his phone?
I don't think he's dialed in yet.
Well, I got two Malcolms up here. Only got one now. Wow. me give him a call back. I'm gonna tell him to sit it out. I'll see if I can get Gary.
Okay, I got my audio back.
Oh,
Jack, you there?
yeah, you're doing well. Don't touch a thing. Just don't make any noise, except when you want to speak. Leave it just the way it is. Okay. Where were we? Did we accept the application yet?
No,
No, I think we were there. Okay. Motion to accept application 02-2021. Somebody like to do that? Mike?
Move to accept case 02-2021.
Thank you. Second,
A second.
any discussion on this? Being none, those in favor? Mike,
Aye.
Bobby Joe,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Malcolm.
Aye.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, at this point.
Aye.
Thanks, Malcolm. That'll be aye for me, and that's a 5-0. So at this point, I'm going to ask, are there any questions? Let me ask the applicant to speak on his 5 points of hardship. Before I do that, any questions of the applicant from the board? Being none, either Dylan or Madison, whoever would like to speak on these 5 points of hardships, I want you to take off at point 1.
The variance will not be contrary to public interest. The primary purpose of conservation lands is to conserve and manage important habitat for the benefit of regionally or internationally significant fish and wildlife species. With our proposal, we would keep the majority of the lot in current use. The subject lot is almost 30 acres. We would only utilize 2 to 5 acres as the building lot and keep the remaining acreage in current use to maintain the general purpose of the ordinance and the essential character of the area. The proposal would not threaten the public health, safety, or welfare, or otherwise injure the public's rights, as much of the lot would remain as it is today.
Number 2, please.
Please describe how the spirit of the ordinance is observed. The proposed use will not conflict with the general purpose of ordinance. It will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood, would not threaten the public health, safety, or welfare, or otherwise injure the public's rights, as much of the lot would remain as it is today, as over 24 acres will remain in conservation as currently zoned.
Number 3, please.
Please describe how substantial justice is done. While inherently rigid, there are mechanisms in zoning to allow for flexibility. We are asking for flexibility with the variance application where the benefit of granting such requests will not be outweighed by the neighbors or general public. The proposed building site would be closer to the road, whereas maintaining the ability for public use of the remaining acreage as it is done today. Further, there is potential if the variance is granted, the road maintenance would be shared with the new occupants of the dwelling. The concept of substantial justice raises issues of fairness for the community and neighbors and peculiar to the property, whereas other similar lots on Jewett Road have had the benefit of selling lots to constructing dwellings in the past.
4, please.
Please describe how the values of surrounding properties are not diminished. The proposed use would not diminish surrounding property values. If variance is granted, the proposed lot would have a small 2-story dwelling constructed of not more than 2,000 square feet. The proposal would result in an overall increase in property value and tax base created by such improvements. The dwelling would have a 3-bedroom septic. The dwelling would be aesthetically pleasing. that would fit in with existing homes. The dwelling would be a minimum of 1,500 feet from the Hebert family and approximately 700 feet from the Fredette family from proposed building plan.
Number 5, please.
Literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in an unnecessary hardship. The following special conditions of the property make an area variance necessary in order to allow the development as designed. The fact that the ordinance in place would restrict building a dwelling on subject lot, whereas others on the same road have been afforded the ability to sell their homes or lots for gain without the zoning restriction, is an undue hardship, as the property does not have any substantial special conditions, such as the lot is not considered a wetland. Acreage would still allow current use, and topography is similar to other lots and properties on Jewett Road. The tax card indicates that 2 acres are considered level and the remaining acreage considered sloping. As stated above, the dwelling would be aesthetically pleasing and much of the acreage would remain the same as today.
Aye.
No special conditions exist to this subject lot.
Would you read the question, please, on I?
Yeah. Owing to the special conditions identified above, please indicate how no fair or substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance and the specific application of that provision to the property. No special conditions exist to this subject lot when compared to other properties on Jewett Road.
Aye.
Owing to special conditions identified above, please indicate how the proposed use is a reasonable one. The proposed use is a reasonable request, and it is unjust to the existing owner to have such restrictions placed on him when others have been afforded the opportunity to perform construction, sales of property, and such for similar properties as the owner is requesting for the subject lot.
Okay, you should have a B on the other page.
Please describe the special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area. As described above, there are no special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area.
Down owing, the bottom one.
Owing to the special conditions identified above, please indicate how the property can be reasonably used in strict conformance with the ordinance and a variance is therefore necessary to enable a reasonable use for it. The same benefit cannot be achieved by some other reasonably feasible method that would not impose an undue financial burden due to the rigid permit restriction. Subject lot cannot be put to a reasonable use. The hardship is due to circumstances unique to the property location where other buildings have occurred on Jewett Road. The variance will not alter the essential character of the area. The variance is minimum necessary. Hardship is not self-created. The current owner or previous owner did not create the need for the use variance. It is not responsible for the current owner to use the property as restricted and eliminate undue hardship under the strict conformance with the ordinance.
Okay. Any question from the board? Okay, at this point, I'm going to ask if there's any approving abutters who wish to speak on this. Being none, any disapproving abutters who wish to speak on this?
Yes, this is
I'm gonna try
Nicole
and be-
Fredette.
Oh, Why
Oh,
don't we
sorry,
just-
Kelly, go ahead.
Whoever wishes to speak, Kelly, go ahead.
So how does this actually work? So he read all those things off
am I allowed to basically rebut what he's saying? Like, can I disagree with his points?
Kelly, you sent in a letter, did you not?
I did. I sent in an email, correct?
Well, yeah, whatever. I've got it. The question is, do you want to speak to that?
Yes and no. My main issue with variance going in on that property is there's a lot of other lots on Jewett Road. To go back to what Dylan said, yes, there have been houses built on Jewett Road, but on the other side of Jewett Road. Nobody's built on this side of Jewett Road since my house was the last one, and it was built in 1987. So that one I definitely don't agree with. It's definitely going to, putting another house on this road is definitely going to change everything, because where does it end at that point? That's basically my main concern at this point, because if I'm not mistaken, in order to put a house on a class 6 non-maintained road, you have to bring at least the front of your property markings up to a class 5 road, or at least allow emergency services to get down the road. And at this point, it's not at all feasible.
Okay. Do you have anything else you wish to add?
I think that's it. I think Nicole will cover more.
Thank you,
than
Kelly. Nicole, who wants to speak next?
Yep, I'm here. Hi, I'm in a butter at 294 Mountain Road, which is directly next to this lot. We were informed that the building site would be further back, because if you've done the site walk, and I'm not sure if you have, but the front of that property is a lot of, it's not marked as wetlands on the maps, but it is very wet there. So I guess what I would need to know is, where is the actual building site going to be? Because if it is pushed further back and it's very close to our lot, that's directly next to our field. And the purpose, we've been here 3 months, and the purpose of us moving here was to bring our horses home. And that is their main grazing area. And, I don't really understand how any of these 5 points can be approved without coming to our property and taking a look at that, because the field actually slopes down from their property. So
I personally went and looked at this a couple Mondays ago, maybe a Monday ago, last Monday, one of them.
not on my property though.
Well, I was standing looking at your property from the road.
Well, from the road, you can't see the field, unfortunately.
Okay, you're on Mountain Road, and you're basically on the intersection of Jewett and Mountain Road?
Yep.
Well, there's a stream that abuts, you share an abutting stream with Dylan?
That's correct. It's Emmons Brook.
Okay, so where's your field relative to that?
So there's actually the brook runs through kind of like a ravine behind our horse barn, and it goes up to the field. So the field is behind the brook, like right behind it. And it's much higher than where the brook runs through. So the property actually slopes down from theirs. So my concern is if there have been any environmental studies done as to how building there directly next to that or close to it is going to affect that, because we've got horses grazing out there, and that's the only place they're going to be grazing. And the purpose of us moving here is completely conforming to the Ware master plan of keeping things agricultural. I mean, we had planned on bringing a couple of horses in for training at a time. So I'm afraid that my business that's not even started is not going to be able to be started.
Okay. Do you have any other concerns?
I have many.
Well, this is your chance to speak.
Are you
No,
able
but
to? Yep.
This is your opportunity to speak.
Oh, understood. Are you able to confirm if there have been environmental studies
No,
done for the
I
wetlands?
can't.
Or
No, it's a residential property. Would you expect everybody else's residential property to have a conservation environmental done on it before you build?
no,
But
but not every.
we're here about the road. That's the issue. It's 30 acres to place a house. I didn't see any issues, but I'm not an expert. He's got 1,600 foot of frontage. Somewhere's on there, he's gonna put a house, and I'm sure it's gonna be a septic where the state of New Hampshire will allow it. So, I
Right,
mean,
and so, excuse me, but my concerns are that this proposed site lot is directly next to our field where our horses are grazing, where we have, you know, I'm trying to get a couple horses in here, you know, we're not sure how you can approve it without confirming how that's going to affect our field.
well, it's about the road. Life and safety issues is the primary issue of not allowing it on a class 6 and private road.
Okay,
That's it.
so,
It's the road is the issue. If it was a class 5 road, he wouldn't be going through this, or he and she wouldn't be going through this. So this is all about the road.
well,
all
if it's all
about-
about the road, then how does the rest of the ordinance come into play for the abutters? How do we confirm that I'm not going to be undue hardship for not being able to use my field for horses coming in here and things?
I'm just having a hard time understanding how him using 5 acres out of his 30 acres is going to be a problem for your field. I just don't get that. But I
Well,
might be in the
because-
minority.
Well, the proposed building site was directly directly in the back near our field. So I'm
He
just,
could be 25 feet away from under the zoning. He can put that 25 feet away from your boundary and 50 feet from the road frontage. That's what he's allowed to do.
okay.
All those are issues. This is about the road.
So how does the zoning ordinance come into play if it's only about one piece being the road?
That's exactly what the zoning is. It says 1711. You shall only build, no building on class 6 and private road, which only leaves class 5. And it says in the zoning, I believe, the only place you can build with 200 feet of frontage, various frontages depending on the zone, is on a class 5 road.
Mhm.
So I gave you the answer.
Well, my
I-
questions are not in relation to the road, though. My questions are in relation to the other points of the ordinance that I don't think are really followed here.
The reason he's here tonight, though, is because the ordinance does not allow him to build on a class 6 road. That's the only thing that's preventing him from moving forward at this point.
I don't want to cut you off, but that's the breadth in which we deal with here.
So
I
what
know
is
you
the
might have, I
purpose
know
of
you
the
might have
butter
other
being at the meeting?
issues. Huh? I know you might have other issues which may be relevant to where you're thinking, but from a board perspective, we're here for the road. Because the
And
only,
so, oh, go ahead.
I just want to keep repeating myself. 1711 states no building on a class 6 and private road.
Mhm.
And in order for him to build here, he needs to get a variance to that article, not the setbacks, sides or frontage, not to whether he's too many feet from your field.
Okay.
Those are all your concerns. I'm not suggesting they're minimal. I'm just saying from a position of this meeting this evening, it's about the road.
And so, okay, and maybe I misunderstood the purpose, and I'm sorry for that, but when do the other issues get addressed? Is that in the planning meeting?
It's not, well, he'll have to go to the select board, but again, it's just the road. Because if this was a class 5 road, and if he had these 30 acres, and he wanted to put his house within 25 feet of the boundary, or 50 feet back from the road frontage, he can put it anywhere as on the 1,600 feet he wants. As long as he's not 50 feet to the road, he's got to be further back than 50 feet from the road. He's got to be further than 25 feet from a sideline. Those are the requirements that you get as a result of the zoning. He has already got that because that's not an issue. The issue is the road.
I understand that. So I guess I don't understand, what I don't understand is how do they comply with the rest of the zoning ordinance?
Well, that's how we decide as the board. I don't know how to help you. I mean, we're getting into a circular logic here, and we're not adding any value. Do you have any other issues you want to bring up? Because this is your time. If not,
The
I'd
issues
like to
that
move
I'm
on.
bringing up are being, I feel the issues that I'm bringing up are not even being addressed.
I'm confused on what you're saying about the other parts of the ordinance, because we're specifically 17.1.1 is what we're dealing with here. So
Okay.
what, I
If you
don't
look-
understand, I'm not following what you're saying the rest of the ordinances. So that's where I'm confused on what you're saying.
And maybe I'm confused here as well. So if this were passed today, they would be allowed to build, correct?
If they go to the selectmen and get the use of the road, yes. We put conditions on. We will put conditions on the road. Okay?
So the point
If
that
if we pass this with 3 yeses for
yes.
each one of the 5 points, we will put conditions on the road.
Understood.
Okay?
How
And
do you,
that's-
oh,
I'm just trying to say, you want to air a lot of other grievances and they may be real. But this evening, we're dealing with the road. That's the only reason we're here tonight.
okay, but you're dealing with the 5 points as well, correct?
As it pertains to the road.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to make a point that, do you have any more specific points you want to bring up? Because we just keep going around the circle here. I want to give you sufficient time.
It would probably be best to say if you have
You
knowledge
get a
of
second
another
to it.
of another part of the ordinance that wouldn't be in compliance, now's the time to bring that up. But for right
That's what
now,
I'm trying to bring up.
we've been asked to provide a variance for a specific part of the ordinance, which is the class 6 road. And
Okay.
that's the only thing we can consider at this time.
And that's the only thing required. Everything else is given to him by the zoning. He must meet the other articles in the zoning.
So there's probably an environmental study showing somewhere how that will not contaminate the brook that my horses will be drinking from, and it won't contaminate the field that they're gonna be.
If he's in a wetland, he's got to stay so many feet away from a wetland.
Okay.
Okay, so that's all explained in the zoning. I don't want to be a lawyer explaining the zoning. But I do want to make a point that you got protection for a setback from your side boundary and frontage from the road. That's embedded in the zoning. There's a wetland buffer he cannot get within without a variance, and that would be taken up tonight. So, and the septic system will have to be compliant to the state of New Hampshire water supply and pollution control. And they'll make sure it's not close to a wetland. So we're here for the road.
And that would, and did they also make sure that it's not going to contaminate neighboring properties as well?
Well, that's a civil matter and you can have recourse in court.
Okay.
I'm just saying that's not what we do. And even the planning board wouldn't do this because there's no reason to go to the planning board. This is going to go to us, which is we're here tonight. We're going to vote on this tonight. We will, I personally going to recommend some conditions for the road. And if this passes, his next stop is at the select board. RSA 674-41 is an RSA regulation, that's revised statute annotated, state laws effectively. And that requires the selectmen to approve the use of a private or class 6 road. The selectmen actually, the town owns the road. The selectmen are the agent, the governing body of the town to regulate the road, class 6. So once we approve the zoning aspect of it, it then goes, the next trip is to the select board. And they have to give their approval on that. So this is step 1 in a 2-step process.
Might also be helpful to add that following those, the zoning board and the select board and that process, we're not issuing a building permit of any kind or anything like that tonight. When they go to do a building permit, if they're in violation of any part of the ordinance, they're going to be back to see us again.
Got it. Thank you, Mike, for explaining that.
Okay, can I move on to the next disapproving abutter?
Sure.
Who would like to speak? I've got another letter here. I've got 3 letters. Kelly,
That was
one,
me.
Nicole Fadet. You wish to speak to your letter, and Linda Goonan wish to speak. Which one are you?
I'm Linda Goonan.
Oh, very good.
Not in a butter, but I
It
live on the
says
road.
Hawks.
I know, it's Hawks Rise Farm.
Okay, sorry.
I'm the other horse farm property.
Okay, you wish to speak as a non-approving abutter?
I'm not a butter, but I live on the road. There's only 5 houses down here, so we're
Public at
impacted.
large. If
Oh,
you're
I'm
not in a
sorry.
butter,
Okay, sorry.
we'll catch you a little later, okay?
Okay.
And the reason we have to be very anal about this, believe it or not, this is a court. We have to take evidence, we get applications, we hear testimony, we ask for input, and then after all that's done in a very precise manner, everybody gets 2 shots to speak. Then we consider the 5 points of hardship, and we got to get 3 votes yes for each one. And we're allowed to put conditions on for granting this. So we'll get you in a minute, Linda, okay?
Thank you.
Who is Nicole?
Yeah, that's
Nicole,
me. I was just speaking.
Oh,
That's-
sorry. You come up as AJ, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's logged under my husband's. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I just don't know who was who.
Thank you.
Okay, any other disapproving abutters wish to speak?
I
Yes.
did look up when you guys did Sawyer Road, which is off of Jewett Road. And one of the things that you guys added in was one of the new houses that went in, because what's happening in the town of Ware is a lot of these people are buying lots on Class 6 roads and their owners aren't letting them know that they're not supposed to be built on. You have to do a variance, da 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 da. Can I just add that should be added into a stipulation that if at any point in time they do sell this house, if they do get approved for it, that it has to,
I'm going to make you very happy with one of my conditions, okay?
that's
It's
the word.
It's
I
a
was looking
state
for.
law, actually.
Oh, I
So,
didn't know.
When I know you don't, but when we get there, I will
Okay.
take care of that, okay? At least I'm going to propose we take care of that if we approve this. Okay. Any other non-approving butters? Public at large?
Yes.
Very good.
Hi,
Name, please.
Linda Goonan.
Thank you, Linda.
Non-approving public at large. Live right
And-
down the road. We're at
Tell
one,
us why.
we're on Jewett Road. We're right next to the Heberts. And there's only 5 houses down here, so
Okay.
we are
Are
greatly
you the
impacted.
one next to the end? Are you the
Next.
last house on the right?
No, we're the house on the left after the Heberts, the horse farm. We're the other horse
Second
farm.
one on the left. Okay, got
Second
it.
one on the left, yes.
Got it.
Yep,
Okay.
big red barn in the back, that's us.
Mhm.
We have concerns directly applying to the road, the maintenance of the road, the culvert in the road, that bridge that needs to be replaced is a huge concern. We're
Mhm.
very concerned about that. It's a mess. It's got a stone culvert that's registered with Historical Society.
Mhm.
It's in terrible shape. The road beyond that is in bad shape for emergency vehicle access. Actually right from Mountain Road, the pavement on Mountain Road. That's in bad condition. It's a dangerous curve. You can't see coming around that road. It needs to be fixed. The bridge needs to be fixed. It's
You mean
quite
the
a ways
culvert?
up there. The culvert, I'm sorry, yes, the culvert. We call it a bridge, but the culvert desperately needs repair. We're concerned about the impact that's gonna have
Okay.
on the wetlands. We're concerned about the road maintenance right now.
When you say
there's only
wetlands, whose wetlands?
The wetlands to the side of that bridge and around it,
Oh,
where the
okay.
stream goes under in that area.
Okay.
It goes
Yeah,
along the
okay.
Hills property. We're concerned
Yep.
about the impact that's gonna have on that stream. The wildlife right immediate to the stream. Sorry, my cat's being a pain in the neck. The road
I was out
maintenance.
there and I actually saw the water going over the road.
Yeah,
And I
Yeah.
actually saw the LP gas truck, Rhymes LP gas, 6-wheel truck, big
Yeah,
truck.
yeah.
Didn't want to cross it.
yeah, that happens.
Okay.
One of our neighbors who's not on here tonight had a delay in getting a propane or fuel delivery.
Well, that
because
was
of
him
flooding.
because I actually saw the guy watching the truck back out.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's interesting. I mean, the road's very narrow. In the winter and even sometimes in the summer and mud season, we have to back up. If we run into each other, one of us has to back out to the main road or into our driveway to pass.
right.
The road is that narrow. So it's terrible for emergency vehicles. Even
Okay.
up to the point where Dylan and Madison want to build. It's terrible from that, right from the pavement on Mountain Road. The dangerous turn, the road maintenance, there's only a couple of people out here with plow trucks. We're the ones maintaining it. More traffic on it. If you allow this variance, is that going to be a precursor to more variances? There's a couple lots that
Well,
could be, come
all
up
I
and say,
can-
hey, we want to build too.
All I can say is, everybody can come before us for a variance.
Right.
Granting this variance will not affect anybody else's ability to come here. All I can say is, with some degree of certainty, you're never going to get a subdivision on a class 6 road. Now,
Right,
that's
but we
two
could
sided.
get more neighbors and we're concerned
that's a-
about that. the
But that's a
condition.
listen to me, that's a two-sided sword. You won't get any on a class 6 road. If somebody can convince the selectmen to upgrade that to class 5 and come out there and build one more, get a subdivision for another lot off Mr. Bover, he'd have to spend $500,000 doing the road to get one more lot. So you've got what you got out there.
Right.
And people that own the lot have the right to come forwards for a variance.
Yes, I understand that.
So
But
I
that, you asked for concerns about the road and.
I got
that's
it.
what the concerns
Well, I
are.
appreciate it. We want to make sure we get everything. Unfortunately, the poor person that's going to figure this out is the people who write the minutes. So that's why I'm trying to get people to express themselves in a crisp way, even though I may not necessarily do that myself. But,
We
okay,
also have a concern that I'm sure you're gonna tell me it doesn't really apply, but it does apply to the road is, and we've spoken to Dylan and Madison and they swear they will not do this and we believe them. ATVs are a big problem on this road. And they tear up that road and we're the ones maintaining it. And the town's doing nothing to control this ATV activity. It's illegal. We can't ride our horses on that road legally. And we maintain the road. We can't ride our horses on it because of the ATV activity. So I know you're gonna tell me that's law enforcement and not applying.
no,
here.
it's really a select board. They
Okay,
own the roads. We own the roads of the town. They administer the roads. And that's an issue for them.
Okay.
My understanding is they already prohibited ATVs to drive on the class 6 road. Am I correct?
absolutely, yes. And they do it anyway. And it goes,
So it's an enforcement issue.
it's an enforcement issue. It
Yeah,
is.
okay.
And
All
can we get signs out here telling them, signs saying no ATVs, so at least they know they're breaking the law?
Well, you're fully welcome to put them up.
Okay, can we put them up?
How
Maybe?
you bring it up to the select board?
Okay,
If you say, can we put up ATV signs? Let them decide it.
okay,
Okay, because that's really their job. Our half is the zoning, their half is management of the road.
okay.
See what I'm getting at? Now, I know you guys are an expert on this stuff. That's why we're taking the time. Okay. I think we're all done with other boards, public at large. Moving on to Dylan, you wish to rebut anything? Say anything?
Yes, I would like to follow up on a couple subjects. Nicole's concern with the house lot and where that's going to be placed in accordance to our field. We've measured that out as well, and we would be 600 feet away from the corner of her field. So the closest point from the house lot to the closest point of her field, that would be the distance. You know, if that makes you feel any better about that. And the wetlands, it's not a wetlands, it's a runoff, it's a brook. That would have no effect on contamination of your horse's drinking water. Any-
How about any of concerns?
Wheelers, we're not planning on using wheelers on the roads.
Yeah, that's something that, you know, that nobody has to worry about is us increasing any ATV activity or dirt bike, you know, whatever. But as far as the culvert at the historic culvert at the beginning of the road, I mean, we've verbally agreed to have that repaired, you know, before we even know if we can build or not.
Maybe the operative term is not repaired, but augmented. You're
Yes,
gonna put a second one beside it?
yes,
All right, you can't touch the culvert. That's a Benji issue. He's the guy that speaks for the town in terms of maintenance of the roads.
yep,
So you have to work that becomes his bailiwick.
yeah.
That's something you need to deal with him on.
Which has been pre-approved by them. And the selectmen.
You have something else to say?
That it's been approved by the selectmen and Benji.
Oh. Okay.
And also the maintenance of the road, we understand that we also have to,
Chip
chip
in,
in,
help
yeah,
maintain.
chip in, maintain the
we're-
road. We have Dylan as a plow.
We're fully on board with helping maintain the road. I mean, you know, if our driveway is the first driveway on the left, when you pull into Jewett, I'm happy to run a path all the way down to the very end to clear the road out for everybody else. You know, that wouldn't be an issue.
Okay,
Dylan, I have just a quick question.
not now. You get your shot. We gotta
He
stay on.
changed the footage of where the site
No,
was.
well, it's not your turn right now.
my
I'll get with you in a minute, okay?
Okay, got it.
Thank you. Are you done, Dylan?
Yeah, I mean, I can
Good.
answer Nicole questions now.
Well, if you want to answer some more, this is your last shot.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, what I was referring to, I'm talking about the lot to your field, not the lot to your house. Under the application, we have approximately 700 feet to your house from proposed building lot, and to your field, it would be 600 feet because your field is a little bit closer to us than your actual house is. That's probably where the misunderstanding there is.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, are you done, Dylan?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any approving abutters wish to have a second time to speak? Any disapproving abutters wish to have a second time to speak? Public at large, second time to speak. I think we're almost done. The boards, being none, at this point, I'm going to close down the public meeting. You're welcome to stay. I'd like to ask for a motion for prong one in the affirmative.
Move to accept prong one.
Second,
Second.
discussion. I'd like to offer some conditions to be placed on the approval of this, should it pass. Okay, and this is a Town of Ware Zoning Board of Adjustment conditions for case number 02-2021. Class 6 road building permit requirements. The following are minimum conditions and requirements for variance approval of the Class 6 road. In this case, it would, for a zoning ordinance 1711 for Jewett Road. Condition 1, the applicant shall be required to post the necessary signs, singular or plural, at the transition of the Class 5, which would be, I don't know if that's Mountain School. Was that Mountain, intersection of Mountain School
It's mountain.
and Jewett, and the Class 6 for Jewett. In other words, there's going to be a big sign put up there, and the sign required wording is, this road has not been accepted by the Town of Ware or it consists of a Class 6 or private road which the town has no duty to maintain. The town assumes no responsibility for the maintenance, including snow removal or any liability resulting from use of the street. Now, why are we requiring this? This is part of the state law. It's because any casual person driving up to a property on the Class 6 road basically is going to see this sign. The next case, that takes care of the Rhymes oil truck. That takes care of Apple or whatever trucks that come down there for deliveries, Amazon or whatever. Just a note, the school bus will not come down there because it's a Class 6 road, or nor will the post office. So condition 1 is requiring a sign, and Benji has those signs and needs to be put up. Second condition, I think that somebody's going to be very happy with this one. The applicant shall be required to complete a town of Ware liability disclaimer and file the liability disclaimer at the Hillsborough County Registry of Deeds and be consistent with the New Hampshire RSA 674-41 IC Class 6 roads. Why is this? Somebody goes to buy this house in the future, should Dylan or anybody in the future that buys that will do a title search, they will see that that is a in there on the title requiring public notice of somebody who wants to purchase this, so they can't come back on the town and say, my real estate agent told me, or the previous owner told me, Dylan told me when he sold it that he got maintenance. It's not going to happen. You'll never get that far because the person's going to see it. Number 3, and this gets into some technical issues, but the applicant shall take the necessary actions to be in practical compliance with a town of Ware Planning Board subdivision regulation, driveway permit requirements. Somebody's making a noise there. And town of Ware zoning ordinance, Article 36. The town of Ware Public Works Director shall be the authority for interpreting the practical implementation of this requirement's conditions. What does that mean? There is a requirement, which I'm sure Benji's going to want to fix that or have that color fixed. If there is some things that Benji deems as necessary for life and safety, it'll be on the burden of Dylan, but that's up to Benji. We allow him to make those decisions. He does it, he gets paid for a town of Ware to do that. So that may take care of some of the other issues. Number 4, the applicant shall be required to take the necessary actions to comply with the E911 signage requirement for proper residence location identification to support emergency vehicles for life and safety responses. Now, I didn't see that on your, I mean, if you built another house, you'd have that. It'd be like everybody, if they built another house, would have these same conditions placed on them. The problem is the ambulance rolls out there, the fire truck rolls out there. They don't want to be fishing around. So this is to have an overt sign saying what number is going to be posted on his driveway, so they know what to turn into. And the last, and one of the things is by the culvert, it widens out. I had my tape out there. It's almost 16 feet. And part of Article 36 does require, if your driveway, in this case, Class 6 roads over 400 feet long, the fire department wants to have a 50-foot long by 16-foot wide. Why is that? So 2 vehicles can pass, 2 fire trucks can pass, ambulance, fire truck, or whatever. So we're asking that that be widened out to the length of 50 feet and 16 feet wide, because right now the road is roughly, depending where I measured, between 13 and 14 feet. So whatever you dig out of the hole to put the culvert in, stick some of that material to widen that out in that area for 50 feet long. Those are the requirements we're placing on this at this point. Okay, everybody understand what I just read out to you guys?
May I ask a question?
Okay, I'll entertain one question.
It's a quick question, I promise.
Good.
It just in regard to widening that area, it's right on our property line. So would this affect our property?
No, that's at least 33 feet wide if it's a 2-rod road, or it's a 3-rod road, which is 50 feet wide. I didn't measure the whole thing, but it looks like there will be no impact to anybody's property. It's all on the town travel surface.
Thank you.
All on the town's own surface.
Thank you.
I am muted.
Okay? Okay, with that said, drum roll, please. Any other discussion? Being none on prong 1. We have a
Jack.
motion, we have a second. Who's speaking?
Jack,
Go
just a question on the conditions. Do we need to accept those to have them applied? Do we need
They
to vote
will,
on
when I've actually modified in this, good point. My intention was that becomes a modification of the motion. Good
Right.
point. Would
If,
you
if we have,
accept?
I would move that we
We'll do
accept
this.
it
Let's
as
do
written and
this.
read.
Let's do this. Who seconded it? Who seconded the motion? Do we know? It was 2 minutes ago.
I may have, yeah. I believe I did.
Who motioned to create the motion?
Mark.
I made the motion.
Who did?
I
Who
thought
did?
I did.
Who originally did the motion?
I did.
You did the original? Number 1?
Mark did, yes.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, my fault. Yep.
I can't see Mark anymore. His head's gone. There he is. Okay. I was looking for
I
Mark.
made the motion, Jack. I made it.
Very good.
Right.
Would you
Yes.
accept my amendment for
I'm
these
sorry, I
conditions on
didn't
the
hear
road? Would you accept these conditions on your amendment on your motion?
Okay, so conditions apply to this case 02-2021.
Yeah.
I'd like to make the motion for that.
Thank
To
you.
apply these conditions.
And
I
second
second
to
that.
that, please.
I'll
Who would
second.
like,
Second.
thank you, Mike. At this point, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Malcolm's an aye. Mike,
Aye.
Bobby Joe,
Aye.
Mark, bring it home. Go on.
Aye.
Aye, I'm gonna finish it. Aye, so that's a 5-0. Okay, prong 2, could I have a motion?
I'll move to accept, make a motion for prong 2.
Okay, thank you. Second, thank you. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor? Mark,
Aye.
Malcolm. You gotta speak,
Aye.
Malcolm. Thank you. Mike
Aye.
and Bobby,
Aye.
and I'm aye, so that's 5-0. 4, please.
Make a motion to accept prong 4.
Thank you. Second,
Three.
anyone want to second it?
I think we're on 3, aren't we?
Oh,
On 3.
oh, sorry, 3.
I'll make the motion for 3.
Thank you.
And I'll second.
Thank you. Thanks for picking that up. Any discussion?
Oh, not the picture, I meant which.
Any discussion? Being none? All those in favor? Mike,
Aye.
Malcolm, Mike,
Aye.
Bobby,
Aye.
Mark,
This is all part of
Aye.
the motion. There's like parts to it.
I as well. Okay. 4. That's 5-0. 4,
I'll make the motion for 4.
second.
Second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? Being none? Mike,
Aye.
Bobby,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Malcolm.
Aye.
Thank you. Jack, 5. Yeah, I and 5-0. Number 5 in its entirety.
Move to accept 0.5 in its entirety.
I'll
Thank you.
second.
Second. Thank you. Discussion? Being none, all those in favor? Mike,
Aye.
Bobby,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
and Malcolm.
Aye.
Aye as well, and so that's 5-0. That concludes case 02-2021. We got some house cleaning to take care of. You're welcome to stay on. If you want to recover the rest of the night, you're welcome to. We're going to move on. We have some minutes. Anybody get a chance to read the minutes from December 1st? Now, Bobby, you had a question. You are actually a, was your question?
On the top, when it lists attended, it had me as an alternate.
Okay, we need to change you as a permanent. Oh, actually, it doesn't, because you're before alternate.
Well, I followed the trail of how they had it, and it looked to me like it had me as alternate.
Alternate's after your name.
Right. Everybody's
it's-
is after their name.
Maybe
isn't
it's oh, you are right. It's the punctuation. Yes.
it? Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know if it mattered. That's
Well, I could read it either way, so we ought to correct that. Somehow figure out to make Bobby Joe a real member. How's that? Okay. Let's see here. Any other questions? I scanned through it.
There were a few typos with an S on the end of my name.
Oh, you keep doing the S, huh?
Yeah, I know. Being a
Where
pain.
is that? Someplace in the text?
It's throughout the text. The first mention is spelled correctly for the attendees, board members, but
Yeah.
throughout the text, I've got an S on it.
Okay. Kelly, you still here? Kelly Dearborn Luce? I guess not. Kelly, you here? She went off mute. I don't know what the hell's going on. Anyways, we need to make sure that she knows to change Maya's to Maya. Okay, any other questions? I didn't have anything else. Want to approve them with those changes?
Move to accept the minutes for the, let me find it, December 1st zoning board meeting as amended.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Discussion, being none. All those in favor? Mike,
Aye.
Aye.
Bobby, Malcolm, Mark,
Aye.
and Jack, 5-0. Kelly, are you on? Dearborn Luce? I see she's muted, but I don't see her. Maybe she fell asleep. I'll call her tomorrow and let her know. Anything else? I think that's adjournment, isn't it?
Move to adjourn?
Second.
Discussion, being none, all those in favor?
Jack, you
Aye.
had two,
Aye.
Jack, you had
5-0.
Jack,
Good
you had
night.
2 sets of minutes.
Huh?
Jack,
Yeah?
you had 2 sets of minutes.
I've only got one.
I only knew one.
Says
Yeah.
minutes of December 1st and site walk minutes of December 8th.
Oh.
I'm taking that up. That's gonna be if it's an issue in April, we'll take it up.
All right, I'm just saying.
Thank you. Let's see who can get off here as quickest.
Have a good
night.
evening.
Thank you.
Nice job, Jack.
How the hell I get this off there?